rigor and regulatory oversight that went into this product is as robust, if not more robust, than any other vaccine that's been brought to market. We conducted clinical trials on 44,000 patients, and the results showed a tremendous strength in both efficacy and safety. The vaccine reacts in the body, as we've observed, very similar to any other vaccine. There's going to be a little bit of pain on injection, some soreness, maybe some mild temperature, maybe a headache, but that's very common with all vaccines.
In the documents that Pfizer submitted to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, 4 out of about 18,000 people in the vaccine group reported experiencing Bell's palsy, which causes a weakness or paralysis in the muscles in the face. How big of a worry is something like that?
I can appreciate the concern, but I'm going to defer to scientific experts that look at the data in totality. And from what I understand, they say that that incidence is on par with the normal population, and therefore isn't considered to be statistically significant.
One of the concerns, or one of the reasons why concerns like that are being raised, is just because of the speed of this. Vaccines, as you will well know, take a long time to develop and get to market, if they ever get to market. This is a vaccine in less than a year for a virus that we didn't even know existed at this time last year. So how was Pfizer able to bring this to market so quickly?
It's a great question and something we're extremely proud of. So first, we did make a conscious decision to accelerate our formulation development work to be able to bring it to clinical testing as soon as possible. So I mentioned earlier that the product requires storage at minus 70 degrees. If we had spent more time up front, we could have formulated the product to be a little bit easier to handle and store in more ambient conditions. But we decided to work on that formulation, and we're continuing to work on that formulation after approval. But by getting into clinical studies with this mRNA technology sooner than a traditional approach, we were able to collect just as robust data as we would for any other vaccine development program. And then we went through all the scientific review that is typically involved in this.
What weren't you able to do in the accelerated time frame?
Yeah, so I mentioned that the formulation work, it was one piece that we would have liked to have done, and the long-term storage conditions. So right now our product has a shelf life of 6 months at minus 70 degrees. Normally we would launch a product with 2 years of shelf life. So those are 2 areas that we had to postpone, but we'll continue to collect data as we go forward.
We also don't know about long-term effects or the impact on specific groups, such as pregnant women, on young children. Why is it, in your view, worth the risk for people to get the vaccine despite those big unknowns?
So most products are approved without those areas fully tested at the time. And so our product will be indicated for 16 and over. We're continuing to conduct clinical studies on 12 and over at the time. But what you mentioned, those population groups are very special, and those are monitored, are typically studied and evaluated after approval anyway.